Hello, I'm Dean Horn with Softing, Director of Product Management, and I'm here with Bob Payne, our subject matter expert who helps out with sales and support for the Analyst Inside appliance. So maybe you're in manufacturing or process industries, in pulp and paper, metals and mining, cement, pharmaceuticals, maybe semiconductors, and you have rotating machinery with rolling element bearings that could cause you thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars if these machines were to fail. And your goal is zero unexpected downtime. So what kind of machines are we talking about? We're talking about rolling element machines, continuous speed machines, motors, pumps, critical motors and pumps, blowers, fans, ID fans, FD fans, rolling mills, these sorts of things. Again, these types of machines that can cause tens of thousands of dollars of downtime if they were to go out. So you're probably monitoring these machines with a vibration monitor, collecting waveform and spectrum, but you have to go through all that information. You have to put that in context with process control and figure out which of these machines has problems and which ones are healthy. Wouldn't it be nice if you had the Analyst Inside product that could do that for you? It could do baseline for you. It could put the information in context with process, collecting all that waveform and spectral information and looking at that for you, figuring out what machines are healthy, which ones need attention, and giving you results in plain English. So Bob's going to walk us through this demo. Before we get into the demo, though, why don't you show us what you have here?
Okay, so now that we've kind of described the system and what we're gonna use here for the demonstration, very simply, we're gonna take a simple motor, turn it on, get it running. We've got a sensor that's actually attached to do some vibration. That sensor is going to go over to the 1444 that we have here, be conditioned, come back out through our amplifier circuit. This is just for demonstration purposes only, just so we can increase vibration. We're not gonna wait, 2 months to see this thing change states. We'll use a little potentiometer to change that value. That then will come back into the 1444. That information will be gathered by the Analyst Inside module. The Analyst Inside will do the baselining and then do all the vibration analysis it needs to do at that point. So I'm going to bring the motor online. Once it gets stabilized, I'm going to bring up, once that's stabilized and running, I'm going to bring up the user interface, which is the web page that gets served out of the Analyst Inside device. Very simple, 192, 168, 1.250 within a web browser. Google Chrome is just fine. It brings you to a login page, admin. It should take you to the machine page. Let's stand that out. I'm going to unpause the machine and wait for it to actually start getting good signals. Looks like it's getting good signals from the, I'll resume the machine. Looks like it should be getting some good signals. It is. We're running at 1400 RPM. This system has been previously baseline, but I want to go ahead and redo the baseline so that we can kind of go soup to nuts from the start to finish. So once I think I've got a good signal, everything's running in the system properly, I'll make sure that my potentiometer is turned all the way down so I'm in a normal state, I'm no amplification. I'm going to go ahead and relearn the system. It is password protected, so you can't have somebody walk up and relearn your system after you've had 6 months of data. While it's relearning, it's going to go through and do, in normal operation, 100 samples over 25 hours. We're going to do 10 samples in 2.5 minutes. So at this point, we're learning. We should, next 2.5 minutes, we should come in the actual learn system. Okay, so now we've seen it transition from learning to monitoring. We would need to look at 8 consecutive samples in a certain state before we're going to transition. That way we don't deal with any extraneous vibration, anything that's just instantaneous that doesn't make it look like the system actually is degrading. Could be a truck, driving by the building that causes some vibration, or the maintenance guy doing the jackhammer right next to it. So we just toss that. We don't toss it out. We log the data, but we don't consider it for purposes of alarms. So, and for our purposes here, it should take about 2 minutes. So we've actually made a transition into an urgent state. I cranked it enough that I increased some of the magnitude on the vibration up to that point. Again, if I go to the alarm log, you'll actually see all of the alarms that have currently occurred in the system. Interestingly enough, you see an OK here. That is on that unspecified issue. Whatever was causing the unspecified issue in our system now has gone away. It's cleared that. but the state of the machine, the current machine, or the current exhaust load fan is an urgent state. There's a different vibration that's come in. I want to know what that is. If you look over here, you'll see non-synchronous energy typically indicates a bearing issue or cavitation or a motor issue. Well, I want to pop that up and it'll make a recommendation. So non-synchronous energy, it's that very thing that I just told you. Says examine the machine and address the issue. And the urgency is as soon as possible because the levels are high enough. And if I want to geek out as a vibration analyst would do, I can pop this up and it'll show every bit of information that's made that determination. Overall RMS, G-swing, radar plot. Again, that's that guy I told you about that we've got it's our patented product that actually no other system does. We do that as well. But if you'll look, you see all these things that we've seen in the system. You know, and there are a whole bunch of techniques out there. You know, I think there are 15 to 20 different techniques that we use that most vibration guys use. We've done that here. We've seen information in each of these items. You know, that harmonic 8, you know, all of this information means something to the vibe guy. So what we've done is we actually had this thing transition through and create alarms and alerts. What would have also happened this time, if you had it set up in your system and you had an email server that you were able to connect to, you would very easily be able to get text messages and emails sent out to your team. And you can define who gets those messages, and you can define at what level they get those messages and how often they get those messages. There's a lot of different criteria configuration-wise. That in itself is the way the system works. Okay, so for more information, if you want to find out about this product, schedule a demo, just go to softing.industrial.com and we'll help you out.